Okay, we're going to talk about the Trump and Elon Musk, in particular those two. I mean, this goes way beyond that. The agenda, the secret, the hidden agenda. And it is a secret, sort of. I mean, you can probably figure this out yourself. However, nobody's going to really talk about it. I'm going to tell you something. No matter what you feel about Trump, Musk, maybe this will get you to look at things a little different because, well, because of this. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube. Here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. I got to keep my thoughts in here, right? No, it's not a blonde thing. I hope you'll subscribe. Algorithms are in everything. And when you subscribe, you send messages. And thus, there is a cause and effect. And so if you don't subscribe, you're not getting your directives out there. Now, I shared a secret CIA report that was done by the Monroe Institute that I'm shocked people don't even know about, but it's public now. And it actually talks about exactly this, and that is everyone has equal control over creating the reality and future that we live in. Everything's an illusion. There's no one who has more power over or under you. And therefore, we cannot, because we have free will, actually do something over somebody else's free will. Therefore, anybody with any kind of power at all uses it to persuade others to think a certain way and act a certain way to facilitate their desires for a certain outcome. That's how the quantum field works. So nobody's actually ever doing anything without you. They can only persuade you, but you have to agree to participate. Entanglement, that's what we call it in the quantum field, right? You have to entangle. So even if you're watching, you say, oh, no, I don't believe it. You're still entangled with it. Somewhere you're helping to facilitate that final result in that reality. Okay, little housekeeping. Please go down if you're an entrepreneurial and you're tired of earning and polluting or destroying the planet. You don't have any purpose in your life. Come on over. We are creating planet-conscious businesses, but we are going on a personal journey. You are on a personal journey right now. I want you to think about absolutely everything out there. It's not permanent. Therefore, it cannot be that which is all things. It is an illusion, a creation of all things, the source. The source is all things, and it's nothing. And so we're learning this through all kinds of research out there, and somehow we're ignoring it. We are so attached to the material world and what's going on in it and the control that the ego wants for the stuff, what's going to happen, my fears. And it's not easy. Believe me, we all go through it. Are you listening to the voice? Now let's talk about Washington. I did actually work on Capitol Hill for a short period of time. And I got exposed to the reality of that. And that is, if Capitol Hill, any government, is controlled by those who love power, who use it in not such, let's just say, good ways for the collective, for the people, then it creates a system. And so they only recruit others who believe in what they do and work toward their goals. And so, they get all the perks, and it goes on and on. Now you get somebody who comes in there who wants to really make a difference. Good luck with that. You're going to be ousted because nobody wants to give up their stuff or their power. They're secured. And so they are compromising themselves and their ethics, saying, I'm going to be taken care of. So why do I care about anybody else? This is just how it is. And you start to, in that space, think of everybody else, the little people, as the enemy. They're ignorant. They're stupid. They don't know any better. We need to control them and tell them what to do. And they aren't incentivized. They're not motivated. They want to sit on their butts. So they start to think that way, just like you may be thinking about them. It creates a divide. It creates enemies. So they justify what they're doing. Now, I want to share something with you about the government and what's going on right now. I have never taken a side. I don't really care, to be honest with you. I have an opinion. But I know one thing. There's no one side that is right. And if you look deep into it, as we're finding out about the Biden administration, a lot of not so great stuff coming out. And by the way, I've noticed it got really quiet about the jobs and the contracts that Biden's son was getting and the pardons and all that stuff. And then we look at Trump and say, well, you know, he got out of all these crimes. And I'm thinking, who's not doing crimes on Capitol Hill? Now, I'm not excusing any of it, but it just is the system. And so we'll take a side of which crimes are worse than others, and that's insanity. Now, let's say you really want to do good things. You have to play the game. Now, I have heard a few things and seen some things that made me really think good and hard about what's going on out there. I saw some people at the border, and this was actually Ross Coulthart on News Nation. He did an interview with one of their reporters who says she stands there and that the Border Patrol can't possibly be there all the time, but the people coming across are bringing some serious drugs. They showed videos of these drones that are coming over and plopping huge amounts of drugs, and people that wait till the Border Control passes by and they're monitoring it with high-tech equipment on the level of our military, and they sneak over with the drugs. So, you know, if you're thinking, oh, these really good immigrants are coming over and creating a really great lifestyle for themselves and hardworking, you would be right. But there's also a lot of other stuff going on that we actually don't know about, and it's coming to the light. Things are going to come in your face. Now, I'm not saying what he's doing, Trump decisions are right. In fact, I think he's a little, you know, out there. However, he said something during Zelensky's appearance in his, got all dressed up for us, that's okay, at the White House, and basically didn't get the response he expected from Trump. But Trump said something that I thought was so true. One thing that he does, he speaks his own truth pretty blatantly. He said, that's not how the game is played. I can't take your side. Then we would be at odds with, you know, your enemies too. So we have to remain in a position that's sort of neutral. We'll make a deal with you, we'll make a deal with them, and therefore then we become more powerful. And I thought, that's absolutely right. Keep your enemies closer. And so therefore, you're in a power position. The United States, pretty powerful country, is now calling a few shots saying, hey, we're not just going to go to bat for you and start cranking out billions of dollars for your whatever it is you're trying to protect. What's in it for us? Now that's material world thinking, but that's the game. Now let's talk about Elon Musk. I saw him in an interview with Joe Rogan, who's a major interview dude, and he basically said, you know, it's corrupt. All of it's corrupt. So if I'm going to be pulling money out of everything that's going to these, did you hear the list? It's pretty crazy. I have to admit, I don't care who's in office. It sounded ridiculous where all our money's going when we have American people here who need homes and training and education so that they can get out of the situations they are in. And so he's calling this out. And he said, you just don't go in and make all these changes. Sort of the same thing that Trump said. You just don't go in. And by the way, if you love Biden and you're a Democrat, I want you to hear this out because I am not a Republican. I am not taking a side. I did not vote for Trump. In fact, I didn't vote at all because I think all of it was cray-cray. I want you to start to see that nothing is black and white, and that if we go into neutral and we take our own action, that's when we're most powerful, because we have been persuaded by media to take a side, and it never ends. It's like Trump said, then it's just constant conflict, and you hold no power in that space. So when Elon Musk said, you don't understand, I can't just go in and, you know, this is how things are, and we're going to do what's right for the people and whatever. He's the wealthiest man in the world, so it's not about money. It's about maybe making a mark. I don't know. I'd like to think that maybe Trump and Musk, you know, their egos want to be like the greatest guys on the planet that ever went into Washington, and that they did good things for the people. I don't care what their motives are. If the result is they're actually doing some pretty cool stuff and following through with the things they said, I'm okay with that. It's like Mother Teresa said, drug money spends just as nicely as any other money. And she said, people that give money to charity aren't all that, and then some anyways. And I thought, that's so true. Money's money. How are you using it? What are your intentions? So each side, you can take a side, you can say Fox News, CNN, my friends, they pick sides and they go, well, I would never watch that channel. I said, why? Do you think yours isn't taking a side? It's all bullcrap. Now, if you saw the CIA report by Monroe, Bob Monroe, out of the Monroe Institute, it came down to one thing. The future is malleable. It cannot be manipulated or formed without participation of the collective. As long as there's a side that pulls you in to believe it and you take it, the scales will tip toward that reality. Watch it. Because the side that you take and the other one, they're doing the same crap. You know what I say? I don't want to hang out in the basement. I want to go to the penthouse. So whatever's going on over here that's shaking the crap out of the system, I got to give you one thing. No matter what you think, the system is getting so shook up and broken up, it's never going to function the same way again, right? Whether you call it good or bad, it's irrelevant to me. I think it's pushing those of us who realize that we put so much trust and value on their decisions that we're finally realizing, wait a second, this is craziness. I'm the one in charge. And when you realize your actual power, quantum physics has proven this. Why are we not believing it? You're all gods. These things you should do more. Why are we not believing that you actually form the future? They don't. And instead of being the victim, I'm going to sit back and, oh, what are they going to do? They're going to start. No, we never have to go into conflict. We never have to go into some major war. We never have to go into the violence. It takes a village to do that. And a village has to believe that and separate itself and go into that right and wrong to make that happen. And if that's you, you will remain in that reality, and that is where you will stay. Now, I think I shared with you in my last video, I'm writing a book called The Bag Collector. My father, when he died, well, I about hyperventilated when I went in the house after we took him off life support. Here I lost my dad, pretty suddenly. I walk in the house, and yes, he was a big collector. What does that do? It roots you in the material world. Every part of your energy and focus doesn't go away when you leave this planet. My dad was appearing and really shocking the hell out of us. In fact, it will blow your mind, some of the things I'm going to tell you in this book. And it made me realize that he was disturbed because he had left this mess for us, and he was attached to things, and his life revolved around collecting the material, heavy things, and that's where he stayed, until which time I spoke to him and assured him that we were okay. Not everybody has that privilege of somebody understanding that those conversations can take place. I know that the collective doesn't end here, and it doesn't end here. You right now are creating a future. So no matter what you think of people in those spaces, take aside all you want. Take a good look at everything in the big picture. And I'm going to tell you something, a lot of stuff has to stop. All right? Now, how they do it and how I would do it might be different, but I'm not playing that game. And you just don't go in goody two-shoes, I'm going to save the world, and then everybody loses their big homes and whatever. You got to make some deals. I'm thankful for those people. Democrat or Republican or whatever they are, I'm thankful for those people that had the kahunas to go in and start making deals and actually corrupt themselves to make a difference. Now, their intentions are what counts. So if they're making deals just to take care of all the buds and, don't care about us, all right, shame on you, but it's not going to affect me, because if I don't want to participate, then I'm going to do what I did. You guys have seen this, digitalexplorers.net. I'm creating businesses, Planet Conscious. I'm helping people to tap in to stuff that people in business don't do. We don't even talk about this stuff. Meditation and, oh, we'll do it at work. It helps your health. No, we're going to talk about, tell me the craziest thing that you think Let's do it. Let's take it out there. Let's start talking about it. So I told you that this cannot be stopped. This movement to the golden era cannot be stopped. It's already well into it, because those who see this and recognize so much has come to the forefront. It's like we are so don't need your approval to talk about these things that sounded crazy that people used to get burned at the stake for, and we are going and doing it. We're using our powers. We're calling in orbs. We are communicating with things that are positive, because if you're on a positive frequency, you're tuning into that. If you're not, yeah, there's other stuff that's nasty out there. There's good and evil, and yeah, it's created. And guess who's doing it? We are. There's nothing doing anything to you. If you believe it, then you're going to have dark entities standing over your bed. I had that once, and they actually weren't dark, but they showed up like about 10 years ago. And I was very aware of them, and I couldn't move. Yep, I was paralyzed. I finally got out of the bed and ran to a light, and the light was burnt out. And I ran to the bathroom and turned the light on. And one of them said, wow, she's really powerful. And they all disappeared and never came back. Now, when I woke up, I realized I actually had not gotten out of the bed, but I went over to the light that I had turned on, and it was, in fact, burnt out. What's reality and what's illusion? It's all illusion, because reality is you are the unending, unlimited power of all things. You are not separate from it. So that you're pointing fingers at is you. It's you creating that and this and that. And when you see it all and you just observe it and go, wow, this is crazy. Right? Then you realize, oh, this is my game. How do I want to play it? You're nasty to somebody, you're turning on somebody, you got some stupid story in your head, knock it off. That's you. How do you want to be treated? This you do to the least of us, you do to me. How many times can I say, you guys say, oh, go to Jesus. I'm saying, yeah, well, maybe start listening to the same things he said and start performing that way. Ye without sin cast the first stone. Not gonna be me. And by the way, you can't make a mistake here. You're just gonna learn or you're not. Just don't hurt other people and create the future that you desire, because when you do it, you affect me, because we're one energy, my friend. Are you ready for this? Trump, Musk, I don't blame them. They're playing their game. Damn, they're playing it well, and I'm getting a kick out of it. I don't think we're going to go into a major conflict. Don't let it scare you, because if you do, you're believing it and you're going to create it. I know, you're saying, oh no! Oh yes. If you don't believe me, watch that. Go watch the video about the CIA secret report by the Monroe Institute. It's real stuff. We know it. It's not law of attraction. You don't attract anything. You are or you are not. It's that simple, and it's your choice, and it's not out there, and there's no angel that's going to save you. You are the angel. You are the power. You are the thought. You are the desire. And if you're not thinking it, and you have to ask for something out there that you think it's going to give you, then you don't believe that you have it. No, it is done. Are you ready for this? Because this is the era we are already in. And I see a golden one opening up, and it's not going to be without its pain. I'm going to talk to you about something really cool that one of my Digital Explorers students sent me from another channel that AI presented that was mind-blowing and actually quite encouraging. That's going to be my next video, so stay tuned. And by the way, if you think you're subscribed, you're probably not. YouTube is unsubscribing people. If you haven't been active or you've been on here a long time, they're just unsubscribing people. I call it the scrub. And so please make sure you're subscribed, and you can click the bell to find out when that next video comes out, because I think you're going to love it. And thank you, Monica. Shout out to you for sending that over. It was pretty darn cool. It's our future. And by the way, AI is not to be feared. Why? Who controls it? We do. Yeah. Oopsie. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.